Hello dear students, this is Vishalsa from Ikra High School. Today we'll continue chapter 1 from subject Science, Standard 9th. Our today's topic would begin from the states of matter. Now as you know that there are three different states of matter known to us from the earlier classes: solid, liquid and gases. These states of matter arise due to the variation in the characteristics of the particles of matter. Now, as you have studied about matter, that matter is the substances that you observe in your surrounding. The matters were made up of particles. Now, due to the arrangement of particles, we obtain the matters in their different states. We obtain solid, liquid, and gases. And this is because the particles of matter are arranged in different states in these three states of matter. Now to understand what are solids, let's go through an activity 9.1 given in the textbook. Here we have been said to collect the following articles: a pen, a book, a needle, a piece of wooden stick, etc. Now, we have to also sketch the shape of the above article in your notebook by moving a pencil over them. That means you have to keep that object in your book and move a pencil around its boundary. Do all of these have a definite shape? Absolutely, they have a definite shape, a distinct boundary, and a fixed volume. What happens if they are hammered, pulled, and dropped? Are these capable of diffusing into each other? Try compressing them by applying force. Are you able to compress them? All the above are the examples of solid. That means a pen, a book, a needle, and a piece of wooden stick are solid. We call them solid because we can observe that they all have definite shape, they have distinct boundaries and fixed volumes. Even they do not compress. That means they have negligible compressibility. They tend to maintain their shape even when subjected to outside force. Whenever you try to change the shape of any solid substance, you have to apply a tremendous amount of force. Many times, the shape of the substance does not change, but it breaks into two parts. Solids may break under force, but it is difficult to change their shape and so that they are rigid. So whenever you get a substance with all these characteristics, we consider it as solid. Now as you have gone through the different characteristics of solid, you came to know or you defined a solid, that a substance with a definite shape. That means it doesn't change its shape. It has distinct boundaries and a fixed volume. What can we say about a rubber band? It can change its shape on stretching, though it is a solid. What about sugar and salt? When they are kept in different jars, they take the shape of the jar. And what about sponge? Here, as you have read, that they have negligible compressibility. What about sponge? Why? It is a solid, though it can be compressed. Now, the answer given to over here is that when a rubber band changes its shape under force and regains the same shape when the force is removed. If excessive force is applied, it breaks. That means the rubber maintains its shape. It does not change its shape. It only changes its shape when we apply an external force to it. But as soon as the force is released, it again regains its shape. Talking about sugar and salt, these sugar and salts are crystals that have a fixed shape and volume. While the group of these crystals can take the shape of whatever substance it is kept in. Whether it is kept in a plate or a jar, it changes the shape because the crystals rearrange themselves with the shape of the substance that it is put in. While talking about sponge, it has minute holes which contains air. When we press it, the air is released and we are able to compress it. Thus, the sponge is compressible. Now, just like solid state, let's read about liquid state. Here also, we are given an activity to collect water, cooking oil, milk, juice, cold drink. Containers of different shape, put 50 ml mark on this container using a measuring cylinder from the laboratory. What happens if these liquids are split on the floor? Measure 50 ml of one liquid and transfer it to different container one by one. Does the volume remains the same? Does the shape of the liquid remains the same? When you pour the liquid from one container into another, does it flow easily? In activity 1.5, we were given crystals of copper sulfate or potassium permanganate into a glass of hot water and another containing cold water. When we added without stirring the solution, we came to know that the copper sulfate or potassium permanganate dissolved in water. That means a solid dissolved in water. Even the liquid in activity 1.4 dissolved in the liquid itself. Thus, in activity 1.4 and 5, we saw that solid and liquid can diffuse into liquids. Even the gases from the atmosphere diffuses and dissolves in water. These gases are especially oxygen and carbon dioxide. And these gases are essential for the survival of aquatic plants and animals. All living creatures need to breathe for survival. The aquatic animal can breathe underwater due to the presence of dissolved oxygen in water. So, this shows the diffusion of solid, liquid and gases in liquid substances. Now, the rate of diffusion of liquid is higher than that of solid. And this is due to the fact that in the liquid state, particles move freely and have greater space between each other as compared to particles in the solid state. So these are all the arrangements of the particles which make up a substance into solid, liquid or gas. The gaseous state. Have you ever observed a balloon seller filling a large number of balloons from a single cylinder of gas? Inquire from him how many balloons is he able to fill from one cylinder. Ask him which gas does he have in the cylinder. Now let's go through an activity 1.11 to understand more about gases. Here we are supposed to take 300 ml syringe and the nozzles of the syringe should be closed by a rubber cork as shown over here. That means there is no outlet. Remove the pistons from all the syringe, leaving one syringe untouched, filled in water in the second and piece of chalk in the third. Insert the pistons back into the syringe. You may apply some Vaseline on the pistons before inserting them into the syringe for their smooth movement. Now try to compress the content by pushing the piston into syringe. What do you observe? In which case was the piston easily pushed in? What do you infer from your observations? So when we have conducted the activity, we will observe that the gases, that means the syringe which was totally empty, was highly compressible as compared to the solid, that is the syringe which was filled with chalk, and liquid, the syringe which was filled with water. The liquefied petroleum gas LPG cylinder that we get in our home for cooking or the oxygen supplied to hospital in the cylinder is compressed gas. Compressed natural gas, that is what we call CNG, is used as fuel these days in vehicles. Now, because it has a high compressibility, large volumes of gas can be compressed into a small cylinder and transported easily. We come to know of what is being cooked in the kitchen without even entering there, by the smell that reaches our nostrils. How does this smell reach us? The particles of the aroma of the food mix with the particles of air spread from the kitchen. It reaches us even farther away. The smell of the hot cooked food reaches us in seconds. Compare this with the rate of diffusion of solid and liquid. Due to high speed of particles and large space between them, gases show property of diffusion very fast into other gases. So here we studied two characteristics of gases. that is compressibility and diffusion. If both these properties of gases were high among all the three states of matter, it was even higher than liquid. In the gaseous state, the particles move about randomly at high speed. Due to the random movement, the particles hit each other and also the walls of the container. The pressure exerted by the gas is because of this force exerted by the gas particles per unit area on the wall of the container. So here a diagram is given to you for solid, liquid and gas, and a magnifying diagram of the particles, arrangement of particles is shown over here. In this A section, you can see that the particles of solid in a plate are closely packed with each other, while the particles in a liquid are not that much closely and even they are movable. They do not have much space compared to gases, but they have more space compared to solid. While in gases you can see less particles in the same amount of area, so they can move freely. So this brings to the conclusion about the characteristics of particles of the three states of matter, where the gaseous are highly compressible and highly diffusing, but they lack volume and even they lack shape. Liquid also behaves like they do not have their fixed shape, but they do keep their volume fixed. While in solid, they have fixed volume, fixed shape. They have negligible compressibility. The most compressible material in all the three states of matter is gases, while the diffusion rate is also the most in gases and the diffusion rate is least in solid.